Okay, next we have a tweet from Andrej Karpathy, who is ex-OpenAI, ex-Tesla, very well known in the AI industry, talking about how this project, LiteLLM, which is a YC project, so they were getting dunked on a lot, but they were compromised in a supply chain attack, which was enough to exfiltrate SSH keys, any credentials, pretty much anything in the process.env or your environment variables. So very scary. And also, I believe it is a dependency of OpenClaw. And he kind of goes into this idea, and he kind of breaks down like how it all happened and the idea of like supply chain attacks. So this is kind of like well-known stuff at this point, but I'll just speak on it because, you know, back when I was learning how to code, this was still something that I think people were misunderstanding. So, you know, when NPM first came out, which is the Node Package Manager, it was all about like, what can you install, you know? So the whole joke is like, there's an is-odd package. So it's like, literally you would check, like if a number is odd, you would install a package to do that. Because the whole point was that you're building on top of these bricks to make software so that you don't have to rewrite everything and it's already written for you. But the issue with that is that you don't own that supply chain, right? So if anyone takes over that package and they just add a curl to an external server with all of your environment variables, you're going to be quote unquote pwned immediately. So people kind of stopped with that, you know, people stopped doing is odd, but still a lot of packages are dependent on, especially for like larger packages, right? So if you use something like Express or one of these like API wrappers for JavaScript, it's using hundreds, if not thousands of packages under the hood. And each one of those packages is using like dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of packages under the hood. So it only takes one of those to go rogue, and then you kind of are getting owned by just using a simple HTTP server. So now a lot of people have caught on to that, but it's still interesting. But like LiteLLM was compromised in this supply chain attack, and it's very quick that people discover these things, you know? So it's also kind of like speaks to not updating super quickly, right? And like making sure that updates are validated, and also doing like nightly updates, I guess, from the researcher perspective, where if these projects release nightly updates, then the researchers have time to understand and look into them before they actually make it to the general populace. But nonetheless, like one of the strategies that people have for avoiding this now is like you just take the package and you just copy the entire code base over, as opposed to relying on the patches, but then you lose some of the security patches as well, so you have to keep it up to date. So it's kind of a trade-off of like, are you going to let people handle these things for you, or are you going to own it yourself? But obviously when you let them handle it for you, you still have the responsibility of making sure everything's safe, and you're going to have the customers on your ass if things go poorly.